everybody, and welcome to your full moon video for the full moon in Purva Bhadrapada Nakshatra on the 6th of September 2017. The moon will be full in its exactitude at about 8:02 a.m. UK time. Obviously, you can go online and find out what time that is going to be full in your particular time zone. So, like my friend behind me there, he's like looking at you, right? So it's autumn. Autumn's upon us. As you can see, I have on my warmer clothing right now. It's also allergy season for me, so I made the mistake of a few days ago kind of rubbing my eye with itchy eyes, and you may kind of see some redness in it over there, but it's healing and nothing really to worry about. Let's talk a little bit about this full moon energy and how the energy seems to be kind of around the full moon escalating. There's a lot of tension, a lot of frustration in the air, mainly relating to wanting to honor your own particular ethics and values in terms of what's important to you, where you're wanting to take your life from this moment on, and actually implementing those actions. You've been taking steps in that particular direction. And part of the direction that you're looking to take involves kind of freeing yourself from a difficult situation, most likely a situation that involves another individual, and you're not really perhaps seeing eye to eye with each other, and you're ready for that to move on. Only thing is it's not moving on probably as quickly as you would like for it to, and things are beginning to kind of build to a crescendo in association with that. With Purva Bhadrapada Nakshatra, Purva Bhadrapada gives the power to elevate things, right? And when it's not favored in terms of bringing out the more positive aspects of this nakshatra, then it can tend to bring a lot of frustration into the air. This frustration is most likely for you feeling somewhat disillusioned in regards to a particular direction that you were hoping things would turn in terms of applying yourself towards those things that you felt were important. Only it's not really working out the way that you would like for it to. And to be quite fair, you probably have a very specific way in mind in terms of how you would like to see it work out. And that could be a lot of what is creating the tension, right? Because really on a certain level, things don't always work out the way that we want them to, but they do work out the way that they need to. And because on one level, things aren't working out, you're not really kind of facing the facts of a situation. You're not really honoring your emotions in terms of how you're feeling about something, probably in a conducive manner that would allow you to kind of work through that in a much calmer manner. Instead, you're kind of taking a lot of that energy and putting it all to one side, and probably buried beneath it all, there's a little bit of instability and insecurity that you're facing in regards to your particular situation. And rather than take a look at that and face it on its own terms, is probably the best way to say that. Instead, you might be kind of repressing it and figuring that, you know what, I really have to get on with trying to create this change. So a lot of the uncertainties that I'm feeling in regard to the direction that I'm taking, I'm just going to kind of take that and put that all to one side. Now that's happening because of Mars's particular transit in Magha Nakshatra, which has you just kind of taking things, repressing them, putting them to one side. The full moon is forming an angle to Mars. In addition to that, it's forming an angle with Saturn. Both the sun and the moon are forming an angle to Saturn, with Saturn in Mula Nakshatra. And so as things are not working as smoothly as you might like for them to, you figure the best thing to do, rather than reevaluate the circumstances that you're dealing with, is to just amplify your efforts a little bit more strongly, become more passionate, push harder for results. As you do that, because the sun is over in Purva Phalguni Nakshatra and not supported by the strongest Venus that can really help it, it's tending to create a lot of tension between you and another individual. And if it's not creating a lot of tension between you and another individual, it's creating tension within you, between you and yourself, so to speak. And if it is creating tension with another individual, it's also creating tension between you and yourself. Because really, on a certain level, the interactions that we have in our own particular life, they tend to be a reflection of something that's going on within ourselves, right? So we may not be able to change our relationship with another person. We may not be able to change the way they see a particular situation, but we can change the way that we're approaching our own situation. Now, as this is all taking place, there is some tension going on between Rahu, Mercury, and Venus, creating a lot of doubt for everybody, a lot of uncertainty. About a day before this particular full moon, Mercury will have shifted back to its direct motion. But there is a lot of doubt and a lot of strong desires that are building in the air. And as those strong desires are building, you're looking at the fact of whether or not you're feeling really certain in terms of the direction that you should be heading in. Things don't seem to be working out as you plan for them to. You have the best of intentions, perhaps, in terms of your interaction with this other person, but things are just not gelling. And so you're not really sure if you're making the wisest decisions, and you're beginning to doubt yourself. And with that interaction with Mars and Magha Nakshatra, Mercury is also in Magha Nakshatra too. So rather than facing that doubt and working through it in a constructive manner, which is probably a better thing to do, it's beginning to build. It's beginning to simmer in the background, and the frustration is building. And that frustration can get discharged between you and another individual at the time of this particular full moon, when perhaps the best way to deal with it is to not let it amplify between you and that other person, but also not amplify it between you and yourself too. Instead, face it on its own terms. The answer at this particular period of time is not blindly pushing onward with, increased strength. It's also not like hiding from that doubt that you're feeling inside of yourself, right? It's not also giving into like this strong desire-oriented energy and going, right, I'm obsessed that things have to happen this way and I'm going to make them happen that way regardless, right? Probably the best thing to do is to go, what is not realistic about what I want? What is realistic about what I want? Do I need to doubt myself? And if I doubt myself, do I need to go into that to the nth degree, pick myself apart, give in to all my insecurities and instabilities? Well, you don't need to do that, okay? Actually, when there are close connections between Rahu and Mercury, it's quite an innovative time. You can come up with new ideas. The doubt is there to make you come up with new ideas, right? The unrealistic desires are there to help you to make wise decisions. And wise decisions you can definitely make. So don't let the frustration of this particular full moon get to you. Instead, if you're feeling that frustration, look at how you might be able to use it positively. Look at how you might be able to take some steps in a direction that are going to actually bring concrete results rather than lead to further frustration. If you'd like a little bit of information about how best to work with this particular full moon energy in association with your own particular chart, please do feel free to visit my astrological services page. You should see a link to that page either up in the corner of this video or down below. So that's going to do it for this particular full moon video for the full moon in Purva Ashadha Nakshatra. Say goodbye to my friend behind me. Until next time, please do take the very best care of yourself. Bye now.